Hi everyone, welcome back to today's episode of Mindful Moments. In today's sharing, I wanted to talk about this thought I had on overworking because I also realized for myself, I try to incorporate a lot of new practices, new learnings that I want to do and adopt into my journey. And I realized the importance of planning for long term rather than short term and having the expectation or having a low expectation of what you've set out to learn or achieve because there are going to be certain external factors that come into your life that is unexpected and that may throw you off guard and put off or delay whatever you have planned for. I find myself in a situation where I'm unable to meet all those deadlines that I've set out for. So I want to learn something within the next 3 months or even 1 month sometimes. And I realize if I rush that process of learning something, it doesn't really sit with me very well. I don't absorb the information very well. And I understand that different people have different learning styles and preferences. But generally speaking, I feel what's important is to have these certain steps in place, which is to have enough time for learning and then processing it, having enough time to process it before actually going on to the next chapter or the next phase. For me, a mistake that I made was to actually start learning chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and rushing through that process, back to back daily learnings that I was doing. And then at the end of the week, after learning, like, for example, 3 chapters of what I wanted to learn, when I wanted to implement it the next week, I didn't absorb as much information as I thought I would. And then I ended up having to go back and revisit the material that I have learned. Of course, revisiting is a good part to the learning, but then I tested it out the next week where 2 weeks later, where I just spaced out, okay, first week, I'm going to be learning chapter 1 and I'm going to process it, I'm going to implement it into my daily activities, and then just work from there. And then what I noticed is after that 1 week, it allowed me to seamlessly transit all these learnings into and incorporate it into my daily routine. Whereas compared to the first week, I felt so stressed, like trying to think of what to do and having all these multiple things that I've learned from chapter 1 to 3, try to incorporate them all at one shot, which didn't happen very well compared to the one where I had enough time for one chapter to process everything. Which comes to my next point, which is finding that balance for myself of being in a controlled, stressed state and giving myself just enough for me to challenge myself, allow me to enjoy the process, the learning process even more, versus having too much stress and not being able to enjoy that process of just finding those moments of like, aha, and not having to think about, okay, what's the next thing I have to learn? What's the next thing I have to learn? Going on and on and on in that process. And it allowed me to achieve that flow state where I'm just like in the zone, just appreciating what I'm learning and having that opportunity for deeper thoughts to arise as I'm learning at a slower pace and just enjoying those moments in between and adopting those practices. So I hope with this little sharing today, it could spark some insights for yourself to think about if you were to adopt new practices or routines or activities for yourself. So I hope this little sharing today has sparked some insights for yourself to think about if you were to pick up something new or a new practice, give yourself ample time to enjoy the process and not rush through it. There's always this excitement of like wanting to achieve something so fast and just go straight into it and learn as much as you can. But hold that thought and just think about if you were to enjoy every piece of the learning process, I think that could help you to actually enjoy the experience even more and also allow you to sustain a longer term practice as you go through this journey. So I hope with whatever practice you are deciding to pick up, think about it for a moment. And if you found this video useful and would like to see more content like this, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.